So first posture is Shavasana, laying down, arms and legs extended on the ground if that agrees with your low back. Otherwise, you can keep the knees bent or take any other comfortable position that you'd like to. And just take a second to close the eyes, allow your body to settle down. And maybe this is the first time you're laying on the ground today. So allow yourself to draw the attention inward and connect to the heart beating, the breath coming in and out of the body, and just the heaviness of your body, how it is giving into gravity at this particular moment, and there's no resistance to it. And so once you've settled down into it, make sure you're comfortable and allow yourself to just absorb some sound, whatever air is flowing in the room. And today I wanted to focus on refinement. So especially most of you have been practicing for a while, and it can be easy for you to come into a posture, be very familiar with it, and just settle into it quite easily. And this is great. Throughout class today, I will give you some small cues and reminders to refine even just a little bit more. So maybe it's just a simple moving of the fingers, or just a very slightly different shoulder position, or it could be anything. And of course, I implore you to find your own refinements for your own body and your own postures. But to be reminded to not overdo it. Refinement is done for the purpose of simplicity. So keep that in mind, refinement and simplicity throughout the posture. Let's take a couple rounds of cleansing breath. With your next breath in, expand the belly, expand the chest, and we'll hold the breath at the top of the inhale. And taking a big open mouth exhale, releasing the breath. Taking another big breath in. Really take your time on the expansion. There's no point in rushing. Holding the breath again once we've gotten full. Breathe in a little bit more air. And then a big open mouth exhale. So just take one breath, big breath in through the nose, and then once you're full, immediately taking that big open mouth exhale. Yeah. So continue to connect to this slightly deeper breath. A little bit longer inhale, a little bit longer exhale. Relax through the face and make sure the whole body is completely soft here. Just taking a couple more rounds of breath. So with your next inhale, whenever it arrives, start to extend the whole body long. So you're stretching the whole body, hands and feet in opposite directions. You can even point the toes, spread the fingers. And then as you exhale, just gently hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little bit of a rock from side to side. Take your time, there's no rush throughout anything we do, but especially within the movements that we do. When you come back to center, re-extend the body long, so you're coming back into that full body stretch. And then as you exhale, we're gonna shift into our banana shape, or big C shape with our body. So the feet are gonna walk over to the right, as well as the top portion of the torso is gonna sort of move over to the right. You can't quite see it quite as well, but my feet are off of the mat, all the way off to the right side. And I'm gonna cross my left ankle on top of my right thigh. And one option here is to bend into the left knee and bring the left sole of the foot to the right side of the right knee. That's a little bit more intensive, and you can kind of maneuver yourself a little bit deeper into it that way. And that's only if you want that deeper sensation. Make sure that the left hip, the left glute stays connected down to the ground, as well as the left shoulder. And feel free to grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand, just all for the purpose of creating this long side body stretch along the left side of the body. So at some point you may be experiencing some tingling sensation in the arms. And if that's the case for you, place anything underneath them. So pillow, blanket, I have a couple of blocks here, but it can be anything. And for most people, it does occur at some point, sooner or later, maybe not for you. And then making any tiny little refinements here. Maybe you're kind of awkwardly placed on the mat, you want to make a little bit of an adjustment. Maybe you can shift your ankle just a little bit if you've crossed them, so that you can settle into it a little bit more. Or maybe it's something with the fingers or the shoulders that you can adjust. Bring your attention to the tiny details of the posture once you've gotten the main portion of it out of the way. It's simplifying the posture even more. And then once you've taken your refinement, close the eyes and start focusing the breath into the left side of the body. So expansive breath into the left side of the rib cage. And as you exhale, just softening into it. And continuing that breath, maybe you breathe into the side of the rib, maybe you deepen the posture at some point. But finding the breath, staying with it, and utilizing the breath while you're here. So I'm going to hold for just about 1 more minute here. Stay focused with the breath and the sensation that we've created here. Start to deepen the breath, even more expansive than you have. Last round. Good. So as you inhale, we're going to start to just bring everything a little bit back towards center. Not so much all the way back to center, just a little bit. And if you haven't crossed your left leg over your right leg like I am now, so left foot is right next to the left knee, do so. And then we're just going to come into a twist right from there. So you're going to take your right hand to the outside edge of the left knee, and then extend the left arm out to the left side. just come right into a supine twist. And the only reason we move back a little bit is just so that you can be on your mat a little bit more if you kind of shifted off of it. Take your gaze over to the left. And then continue your breath, but this time breathing into the full length of the spine. So breathing from the base of the spine all the way up to the neck and the shoulders. And feel free to adjust here, making any sort of refinements. Maybe you stack the left hip a little bit more on top of the right hip. Maybe instead of reaching the arm directly out from the chest, you start reaching the arm a little bit further up overhead, or conversely, you take it a little further down towards the hip. And feel free to explore the range of sensation here. Each of these positions with the arms offers a different sensation. But find something refining it. Maybe you're refining the grip, the bind that you have on your left knee. Maybe you're refining just your neck position, the way that your head lays on the ground. But come into it and commit to it. And then see how much you can let go in the posture. We're focusing with the exhales as your opportunity to let go. And utilizing your breath as a focus point for you to stay with the moment and stay with the body. What kind of sensations are arising for you? And stay conscious and present for one more minute within this posture. Deepen your breath. Take a big, full breath in. We'll hold the breath at the top. Continue to hold. Big open mouth exhale. On your inhale, let's come onto the back of the body. Oof. Hug the knees into the chest. I'm pretty sore, so don't mind all my grunting. A little bit of a rock from side to side. I'll take the hands on top of the knees and then draw some sacrum circles here. Take 3 circles in one direction and 3 in the opposite direction. And And then with your next inhale, really extend the whole body long. Give it a really good, full, active stretch. And then as you exhale, we'll shift to the other side. So feet walk over to the left, torso curls over to the left. And again, we're making a big banana shape with the body. So both of your glutes, your hips, your shoulders are down onto the ground. Feel free to bind, either taking your left hand to the wrist, or you grab a hold of both elbows. Sometimes it's a nice kind of halfway point. You can stay a little bit more even. And again, you can always cross the right ankle on top of the left, or you can also bend into the knee, kind of semi-preparing for this twist after this posture. But even here, making a little adjustment, refinement. We've all done this posture before. Maybe there's something that you haven't necessarily considered. Maybe it's how much your toe is pointing or how much your toe is flexed on the extended leg. Maybe it's how much weight you're giving into the hips, position of the neck. Or how you're breathing. Breathing deeply into the right side of the body. And this is truly a full body posture, so be aware of all that it takes to experience this posture, all the way from your fingers down to your toes. Committing to stillness. We're going to take our last minute here. Breathing into any tension. And exhaling to let that tension go. So last round of breath here. Okay, so on the inhale, again, we're just going to walk ourselves back onto the mat if you've come off of it. And if you haven't taken the right ankle to the left side of the left knee, do so, and then stack the right hip on top of the left hip. We'll take that bind left hand on top of the right knee and then extend the right arm out for your supine twist. Now there's always some refinement here. Maybe you extend your left leg a little bit more. Maybe you bend into the left knee. Maybe that resonates with you a little bit more. But what kind of refinement are you going to make on this side? Maybe it's the same one. Maybe you position your head differently. Fingers are gripping differently. Maybe you choose not to bind at all. Maybe you choose to let gravity guide the posture. We'll close the eyes. And we'll commit. And committing quickly, even if it may not be perfect, even though your refinement may not be up to expectation, it's not about perfection, and it's not about living up to expectation. It's more about what can you notice once you've gotten there. Breathing into the whole length of the spine. Finding just simplicity in the following of your own breath. What are you thinking about right now? And we're here for another fully aware conscious minute. When you notice the mind drifts away, because undoubtedly it will, your next inhale is your next opportunity to bring yourself back. So whenever you take your next inhale, breathe in a full deep breath, and we'll hold the breath. And then take a big open mouth exhale. Good. Roll onto the back of the body. Hug both knees into your chest. Woohoo! A little bit of a rock from side to side. Give your ankles a couple of circles, your toes a little bit of a wiggle. So drop the soles of the feet down into the mat and make sure that the fingertips can touch the back of the heels. Feet are about hips distance apart. So we're going to go through a moving bridge posture, thinking about 4 rounds. We've all done this before, but just as a reminder, taking an inhale, lifting up the hips, pressing the feet down, and bringing the biceps near the ears. So you exhale, there's a slow, mindful release back down. It's not just a plop back down. So again, follow the breath, inhales, lifting up. Try not to use the glutes, but more your quads and the feet. And as you exhale, vertebra by vertebra, back down to the mat. Good, take 2 more, nice and slow. Lifting up to the highest extent that you can. Lowering with as much care and slowness as you can. And last one. Once your hips meet the mat, you're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. I'm going to give you more options than normal, but as always, it's your choice. So our traditional figure 4 pose, you can, without any props, so if you don't have any props, these are your options. And push the right knee away from you. You can also hold onto the back of the left thigh. That's not too intense, you're not really reaching for the thigh. If you happen to have a block, an option would be to place the block underneath the left foot. Will elevate the legs a little bit more. But also, if you happen to have a couch, a bed, or a wall next to you, you can use the wall, like so. And place the foot on top of it and kind of figure 4 like so. That's if you do want to go into that slightly deeper version. Please make sure that the tailbone stays connected to the ground. That may mean that you need to scoot a little further away. And if you happen to have a wall, feel free to just extend that left leg up against the wall. I'm gonna hang out here because I'm quite enjoying it. But then find a good position for the hands. So if you're not using the hand to push the right knee away, maybe you extend the arms, or there's a million options. You can cradle them around the head here. You can field goal pose the arms. Maybe just rest the hands onto the torso somewhere. Whatever you choose, keep the right toes flexed. Again, tailbone stays connected down to the ground, no matter what you choose in terms of depth. Close off the eyes once you've gotten here. And identifying exactly where this sensation begins and where it ends. You may find that it's in a much larger area than what is meant to be worked on. You may find you're finding sensation all along the back, all along the hip, all along the leg. And all of those are right. Breathe into the center of the sensation, where the sensation is the greatest. And continue to use your exhale as a way to soften that sensation. Maybe just by letting go. So 1 more minute here. So you can count your breath. It should be just about 6 rounds of deep breath. And last round of breath here. Good. So if you are up on a couch or a wall or something, just gonna shift your body over so that we can just come back into our starting position. We're gonna take our peace fingers on our right hand and grab them around the right big toe. We're gonna come into a half happy baby on the right side and then extend the left leg long onto the ground. If the peace fingers around the big toe is too much, you can always hold onto the back of the thigh instead. Just gonna move my block out of the way. This would be an active posture, an active stretch. Flex the left toes back towards the face. You're actively holding on with the hand while simultaneously bringing the knee down towards the ground and in towards the armpit. We'll take the left hand to the left hip and press the left hip down. Chances are the weight of the right leg will start to lift the left hip up off the ground. And shoulder blades back in towards the spine, so you have a broadness across the chest. And the back of the neck is long, neck is neutral. Try not to look at the screen. So just gonna hold for another minute. Very present with the sensation, especially in these active postures. Feel free to make any little refinements. Maybe hold the foot a little bit differently. You relax your face. You press the left hand on top of the left thigh instead of the hip. Last 2 rounds of breath. Last one. So on your inhale, stretch the whole body long, a full extension, empty through the fingers and toes. And then I exhale to hug the knees into the chest. And we'll drop the soles of the feet down into the ground. And take the hands onto the belly. And take a 3-part breath. So breathe into the belly first, then the chest, and bring the breath all the way up to the top of the throat. As you exhale, release the throat, the chest, and then the belly last, dropping the belly button back into the spine. Do 2 more like that. Last one, bottom to the top. And then top to the bottom on the exhale. On the next inhale, left ankle over the right thigh, flex the toes, and find your position. So staying here, holding onto the back of the thigh. Maybe you use your wall, your couch. Maybe you have a desk or a chair even. This really could be anything. As long as it's sturdy. It's not a wheelie chair or something like that. And remember to keep the left toes flexed, just to protect the left knee. Tailbone's connected down to the ground. Again, finding a position for your hands. I encourage you to find a different position for your hands if you're not using them for the posture itself. Find a good position for the neck and also the spines. I find that the spine is probably the most variable thing. The biggest difference from person to person here. Some of us like to actively press the tailbone down to the ground, and sometimes it's unconscious. Some of us like to really dump into the low back here. And it all is body dependent. Stay conscious, stay aware, make sure your body agrees with any sort of significant resistance that you put it up to. Any other refinements, maybe even a mudra with the hands. If you have the arms extended out, you can bring the pointer and the thumb together. Closing the eyes. And checking in. Since we did it last side, where exactly is your sensation from beginning to end in this posture? Can you breathe into the epicenter of that sensation? You can visualize that breath going right into the core of what you're feeling. Take note of your breath. How deep is it? And holding for 1 more minute. Starting to deepen the breath. Take our last round. Good. So if you are up against a couch, a wall, something sturdy, we'll make our way back onto the mat. We're going to take the left peace fingers and bring them around the big toe on the left side. Extend the right leg onto the ground. Your left sole of the foot faces upwards towards the ceiling. The right hand comes to the right hip or the right thigh. And just holding in stillness, making refinements quickly. Again, we're only here for about a minute, so keep actively pressing the right leg down into the ground, simultaneously giving a good pull of this left foot, left knee down to the ground next to you. Neutralize the neck, close the eyes. Remain focused on the effort that it takes to maintain this active stretch. Are you pressing down with the right leg just as much as you are with the left? Even it out. Last 3 here. Last one. Good. So on your inhale, slowly hug the knees into the chest. Ooh. A little bit of a rock from side to side. So we'll bring yourself to center. We're gonna rock and roll the length of the spine up to seated. If you don't resonate with that, you can just roll over onto the side and push up into tabletop. I'm gonna give about 3 rocks. And then once you're up, we'll turn and come into tabletop position. Knees underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. So just gonna take 2 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. And exhale, rounding out, pushing the ground away. So one more, nice and slow. Make sure you get to the peak of the posture with the peak of the inhale. And same on the exhale. You're emptying out all the way until you get all the way around it. Empty all the breath. And inhale to bring it back to neutral. And then exhale, extend the legs back behind you. Sink the hips down. We'll take a Sphinx pose here. So legs extended back behind you. Grabbing a hold of opposite elbow. And you can keep this bind if you'd like, or take the hands down. Feel free to also maybe even bring the hands into prayer position. I don't normally suggest this one because the tendency is to widen the elbows a little bit when you do it. If you do choose that one, make sure that the elbows stay shoulder width apart. You also have the option to support the head, like so. Or you can use a block to support the head, but we'll all let the head fall forward. Feel free if you'd like to bend into the knees at any point. Deepen the sensation of the back bend. But once you're here, breathing into the belly, expand the belly into the ground. As you exhale, I'm just falling into the ground. And continue to give minimal support in these shoulders to hold you upright. And relax into your face. Head is heavy, hips are heavy. And 1 more minute here. the breath. And last round. And so as you exhale, release the feet down to the mat. We'll take a palm pillow, one palm on top of the other, forehead on top of that. And just for the time being, just take a breath along the whole back side of the body, all the way down into the heels. And then when you're ready, bend into the knees. We'll slowly windshield wiper the shins from side to side. Release the feet down to the ground when you are ready. Very lightly. And on an inhale, bring the wrists underneath the shoulders. Slowly push yourself up. You're gonna right away tuck the toes underneath, lift up through the hips, and then begin to walk the feet up to the top of the mat. Feet are about hip distance, big bend into the knees, grab a hold of opposite elbow, head hangs. A little bit of a sway from side to side. And so bring yourself back to center and into a bit of stillness. Take a big breath into the belly. And big open mouth exhale. Release the hands. I'm gonna tiptoe the feet so that they come together. We're gonna lift up through the heels and then drop the hips down towards the heels. Release the hands forward and then very lightly land onto the hips. And then from there, we're gonna lower down onto the back. So you're gonna curl the spine and turn around them. And we're coming onto the back of the body. Woohoo! So take a full happy baby pose here. So knees wide, soles of the feet to face up. Give yourself a little bit of a rock from side to side. Again, we always want to keep the tailbone pretty close to the ground. So if you need to, or even if you just want to, you can hold onto the backs of the thighs instead of the feet in order to make that happen. And so when you're ready, bring yourself back to center, knees in. Give yourself a good tight squeeze. Bring the forehead up to the knees. So you're rounding into a tiny little ball. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll release into our Shavasana. So you can extend the arms and legs. And even in the Shavasana, finding a bit of refinement. Sometimes that refinement means just simplicity. Sometimes we like to add all these things into our Shavasana, which is great. And I will never talk against it. But maybe just for this one time, you take your traditional Shavasana, shoulders back in, feet flopping out to the side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. But as always, it's your choice. Once you're here, closing the eyes, allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to just be there without having to do anything at all. And just allow yourself to receive this stillness and this moment of rest. If you need, give yourself one more cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. I will guide you back when it's time. Keep your eyes closed, begin to deepen your breath. Maybe just gently rock your head from side to side. Start to re-engage the hands and feet. And if you want, full body stretch. So when you're ready, roll over onto the side of the body, come into a fetal position. We're gonna pause. And think of the nicest thing that's happened to you today so far. And then we'll come up into a comfortable seat. Bring the palms together, bring the thumbs into the heart, sit up tall. And thank yourself for showing up. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier, but all that matters is that you arrived. And we'll take one more cleansing breath. Big breath in through the nose. Big open mouth exhale. As always, I bow to you in gratitude. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through your practice. Namaste. Thank you guys. I hope you guys have a lovely evening.